Hi everyone. Welcome to NPAT 2026. My name is Abhilasha and I will be discussing the 2026 sample paper with you guys. I hope you're ready. I am ready and very excited to do this session. Okay, without wasting any more time, let's just get into the thick of things. Okay. I hope you can see me and hear me. If you can, then quickly, can you give me a yes or no if you can see me or hear me? And also remember to like the session, share, and subscribe to the channel because, of course, once you have subscribed, then and only then will you be able to participate in the live chat, and that's absolutely required. For any inquiries, of course, you can connect on 8130 038 836, guys. Today we are doing verbal reasoning. That's my section. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay. So you select the best option that completes the sentence. Please pay the electricity bill dash time to avoid having your electricity supply cut off. Of course, you will use on time here because clearly that's the correct answer. On time means at the right time, right? If it is 8 o'clock, then 8 o'clock. Okay, so it is the right time, so on time. Let's look at the next question. Question number 2. Okay. Again, a filler, select the option that best completes the sentence below. So the first one was very simple. A preposition, birds get very frightened when paper balls are thrown at them. Again, this is a prepositional question. Paper balls are thrown at them. So people are throwing, the birds are sitting and the people are throwing paper balls at them, towards them. So that. All right, dash. The third question is again a filler. Dash Buddhist beliefs and traditions. Gautam Buddha had been born as animals and humans in many previous births. So I want to prove this according to Buddhist beliefs and traditions. So I will say, according to Buddhist beliefs and traditions, Gautam Buddha had taken many births. Okay, so that is going to be your answer according to. Okay, again a filler. Uh, Certain habits stay with you dash life. So throughout life, right? There are habits that stay with you throughout your life, your entire life. Okay, within means inside. Now within can only be used for a place where there is a fixed boundary. Across again will not work. Beyond means after life. Well, that will not happen. What habits stay with you after your life? So not beyond. So best answer throughout. All right, here is a passage. Let's read this, take a minute, and then we will try solving the questions which are based on this passage. Okay, so Toru Dutt is considered the earliest Indian female writer in English. She traveled extensively in Europe from a young age with her family. She and her sister Aru became fascinated with Paris and French literature. In London, they came in contact with such august personages such as Sir Bartle Frere, the governor of Bombay from 1862 to 1867, and Sir Edward Ryan, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Calcutta from 1837 to 1843. Toru Dutt was greatly influenced in her writings by French romantic poets like Victor Hugo and English writers like Elizabeth Browning, John Keats, Charlotte Bronte, and Jane Austen. She was also intrigued by the legends and myths of India and even learned Sanskrit. Her writings were marked by romantic melancholia and an obsession and preoccupation with death. This was partly due to her suffering and pain following the early tragic deaths of her siblings, especially her older sister Aru, with whom she was quite close. What a lovely passage on Toru Dutt. She was one of the very famous Indian poets or poetesses who wrote in English. Also, she died very young. Okay. Her chosen subjects often portrayed separation, loneliness, captivity, dejection, declining seasons, and untimely death. She led an ivory tower existence. Ivory tower existence is somebody who lives all by herself, is not connected to the others. And her own death came quite early at the age of 21, in the full bloom of her talent. So her talent was blooming. She was doing so well. And on the eve of the awakening of her genius, so she could have become a genius, but it didn't happen. Toru Dutt's most famous work is A Sheaf Gleaned in French Fields, an anthology of poems translated from French to English. It also contained a few original poems that showcase her vast insight into French literature. So she has studied a lot of French literature. She used to publish poems in the Bengal magazine under the pseudonym TD. But most of her powerful work was published posthumously after her death, including the French novel Le Journal de Mademoiselle d'Avers and the unfinished English novel Bianca, or The Young Spanish Maiden. Her work, Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, depicts a shrewd knowledge of Hindu mythology and an instinctive empathy with the conditions of life they represent. So, at the age of 21, she has already written so much. Imagine. And people are going around being babies. An assimilation of the Occident and the Orient nourished Toru's poetic skills. In her, we find a three-party influence of a French education, lectures at Cambridge, and the study of Sanskrit literature. So there's so much about Toru Dutt, right? French, English, Sanskrit, everything. All right, so here is a question. It says, Toru Dutt is an unsung genius in the world of Indian English literature. Which of the following options most supports the above statement? She died tragically young on the eve of the awakening of her talent. Toru belonged to the illustrious Dutt family, many of whom gained renown as writers. Toru Dutt often wrote about separation, loneliness, dejection, and other melancholic subjects in her works. Toru Dutt wrote works in French and English and also translated from Sanskrit in all her short life of 21 years. And Toru Dutt traveled extensively in Europe, including cities like Paris and London. Now, let's understand. One of these statements is the reason of the given statement. So the reason, what is this statement? It says she's an unsung genius in the world of Indian English literature. That means people did not speak about her. Okay. Why would they not speak about her? Because people did not know of her. Why did that happen? Because she died tragically young on the eve of the awakening of the talent. So look at it like that. I can say that Toru Dutt is an unsung genius in the world of Indian English literature because she died tragically young on the eve of the awakening of her talent. Her talent hadn't awakened, that's why she's an unsung genius. Correct? Otherwise, she would have been famous. So, not B, not C, not D, and not E. All right. According to the passage, which of the following is not true? Toru was a romantic at heart and was influenced by romantic writers like Hugo, Bronte, and Keats. Her works on Hindu mythology show Toru Dutt's instinctive sympathy with the people of her home country. Well, we don't know this, okay? Nobody in the passage has said this. The tragic death of siblings is partly responsible for the strain of melancholia we find in her. This is true. This is true. Toru Dutt was influenced by the literature of the Occident as well as the Orient, and this was reflected in her writings. This is true too. Toru Dutt was the last one we don't even know. So the one that is not true is option number B. That is the one that is false. Okay. All right, the next question. Toru Dutt can be considered a cosmopolitan of the 19th century. Again, which of the following options most supports the above statement? So, what is the reason for this? She traveled extensively in Europe, spent considerable time in the cities of Paris and London. She used to publish poems in English in the Bengal magazine. She translated the works of French romantic poets into English for the enjoyment of the Indian public, was accomplished in Sanskrit literature and wrote ancient ballads and legends of Hindustan based on this. Well, if she was accomplished in Sanskrit literature, that does not say she's cosmopolitan. Okay. Toru Dutt was influenced by French education, lectures at Cambridge, England, and the study of Sanskrit literature, and was well versed in all. So this shows that she was a polyglot, right? But does not show that she was cosmopolitan. So the best thing will be option number A, which says that she traveled extensively in different cities, and that's why we are saying that she was a cosmopolitan. Correct? All right, which of the following is implied in the passage? Torudat wanted to return to Europe to further her knowledge of English and French literature. This we don't know. She contemplated suicide after the untimely death of her sister Aru, with whom she was quite close. I don't know. So I'll have to check. Wanted to publish her French novel, Le Journal de Mademoiselle de Avars, and gain popularity in European literature. This we don't know. Was conscious of the suffering of her compatriots under the British Raj and published. Where does this come from? It doesn't. Felt isolated from contemporary Indian women, especially after the. Again, no. So the only one that you can understand is option number B. Right? Okay, now let's take a look. Here are 4 or 5 sentences which have to be arranged to form a meaningful paragraph. So that's a parajumble. It all began during high school when Aisha moved to a hostel. She was grateful that she had the support of her family to help her through this difficult time. Neither Aisha nor her parents expected that her life would take such an unfortunate turn. Not long after this, Aisha was diagnosed with blood cancer, so she had to leave school and focus on her treatment. So I'll start with A and then I will go to D, right? So I know I have to start from A and I will have to go to D. Okay. So it all began during high school when Aisha moved to a hostel. Okay. What all began? When she moved to a hostel, she was diagnosed with blood cancer. So I know A and D have to sort of be together. Okay. How do I start? How do I look for my answer? I will look for any option which has AD. Now option A doesn't, option B doesn't, option C does, not option D, not option. So CADB is the correct answer. I start by saying that neither Aisha nor her parents expected that her life would take such an unfortunate turn. It all began during high school when she moved to a hostel. Not long after moving to the hostel, she was diagnosed with blood cancer. And she was grateful that she had the support of her family through this time. So CADB, correct answer, option number C. All right, again, the next one, Parajumble. According to archaeologists, Machu Picchu was an estate built for Pachacuti, the emperor of the Inca kingdom. In 2007, it also got included as one of the 7 wonders of the world. Machu Picchu is a citadel situated on a 7,970-foot mountain range in southern Peru. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 1983. Okay, so D and B, because of the timeline, become a pair. Again, I will look. DB is here, DB is here, not here, not here. So I've eliminated 2 options, option number C and option number E, but I still have. So now I know that DB cannot come in the beginning, right? Because it, what is this it? So I have to introduce it. So DB has to come towards the end, right? So first I introduce it. So sentence C, Machu Picchu is a citadel situated on a mountain range. According to archaeologists, it was built for the emperor and then it became whatever. So CADB will be the correct answer. So option number D. Okay, guys. All right, the next one, again, there is a sentence. There are 5 sentences here. You have to arrange these sentences to form a sequence. So from the advent of cell phones in the 1980s to this day, mobile technology has improved drastically. In this era of technology and digitization, diverse ideas are coming together to make things much easier for human beings. Okay. Among the various breakthroughs in IT in the last few years, robotics and AI top the list. Computer, video game, and TV technologies have also gone through major changes in the recent years. With every passing year, massive advancement in technology take place, affecting our lives in many ways. So I know that E and A and D sort of should be right, in the beginning. So I know that E will be my starting point. So therefore A, B and C choices are gone. And I know E ke baad A aa sakta hai. So therefore EA. and then whatever C, D, B can be the correct answer. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one again. Rock salt helps in the absorption of minerals in the body, aids digestion, soothes heartburn, stabilizes blood pressure, cures rheumatic pain. There are many benefits and uses of rock salt, but what is it? Whoa. Rock salt found in the Himalayan region is given the name Himalayan crystal salt. It is good for hair and skin, detoxifies, exfoliates, formed from sodium chloride. Rock salt or halite is a mineral that appears as a result. So what is it? I know my answer. So B and E have to be together. Okay, so I'm eliminating E, I'm eliminating C, I'm eliminating B. So I have two choices, B, E, A, C, D, and A, D, B, E, C. Of course, I start with B, E, A, C, D because that's my starting point. There are many benefits of the use of rock salt. What is it? And then you continue. Okay, so B, E, and then A, C, D. All right, here is a passage with some words that are missing and you have to fill this up. Okay, so in light of the recent happenings, the nation is again something in a debate on capital punishment. Considerable so caught up, stuck in, considerable opposition to capital punishment has come from the legal scholarship quarters, so the lawyers. It views the use of capital punishment as something, as it uses hate to fight hate. People who support capital punishment, it argues, have failed to make a dash between justice and revenge, so a difference or a differentiation, thereby normalizing crime. It says research studies have clearly shown that capital punishment does not act as a dash deterrent to violent crimes. Okay, so I'm looking at these words. So here is my, okay. So again, riveted will take by, okay, something in. So embroiled in, okay. I'll go with embroiled and I will write that here is embroiled in a debate. That means stuck in it, okay. It views the use of capital punishment as hypocritical, right? Because you're fighting hate with hate. Okay, people who support capital punishment have failed to make a distinction between, so a distinction between, and I know the last one is definitely going to be a deterrent. So that's my answer. Those are my answers, guys. All right, here is a sentence where there is some part which has an error. You have to spot it. If there's no error, then you mark option E. The incident left her with a fractured leg. With great efforts, she has started to walk again. This is a perfectly, with great effort, right? So the error will be in part C, efforts. That's the one that has an error. Question number 18, let's take a look. A discount of 25% were given to customers purchasing clay. I know a discount is the subject, and if it is a discount, then I have to say was and not were. So was instead of were. So were is the part that has an error. The area I live in is one of the many safe places that gives freedom to women to walk around even at night. Okay, so remember the rule is one of many that are. So if it is one of many, then this verb has to be plural. So therefore it cannot be gives, it should be give. Okay, that give freedom. So correct answer C. That's the part that has an error. There are many harmful effects and not effects. Affect is a verb, effect is a noun. Okay, so part A has an error. These are very simple errors, guys. If you just read it well, you will be able to see. Okay, now here are some questions on syllogisms. No one who likes to watch baseball likes to watch basketball. So if here is baseball, Then here are basketball viewers. And all who like to watch basketball also like to watch football. So where should I place football? I can place it like this also. Yeah. Because still all who want to watch basketball like to watch football. Now all those who like to watch football also like, no, that's incorrect. See, all football don't watch basketball. Okay. No one who likes to watch basketball likes, again, that's incorrect. Or lots of basketball, baseball players also watch football. Some of those who like to watch football also like to watch baseball. Well, yes, this is entirely possible, but what if football was something like this? Then no one. So answer will be none of these conclusions follow. Okay. So answer will be E. All right, let's take a look at this one. So there is a passage and you have to identify what is the correct conclusion of this passage. Okay, so let's take a look. So in a library, 3 members were issued non-fiction, non-academic books, and these were returned 3 weeks later. Some members were issued non-fiction, non-academic fiction books written by American authors, and they returned these books within 20 days. More than half the members were issued academic textbooks, and these were returned after 20 days. So what do you conclude? Okay. So some members got non-fiction, non-academic, and they returned it on 3 weeks. Okay. Some got fiction, but non-academic, written by American authors, and they returned this within 20 days. And more than half the members got academic textbooks, and they returned this after 20 days. Now, let's take a look. The non-academic fiction books were borrowed by library members for the shortest duration. Non-academic fiction, under 50 days. Yes, so shortest duration, true. Most library members prefer to read non-academic, non-fiction books. Non-academic, no. So, actually, we don't know this. Okay. Academic textbooks were perhaps the most issued books in the library. Yes, because more than half the members issued academic textbooks. Correct? So, therefore, most issued books. Non-academic fiction are preferred more than non-academic non-fiction books. I don't know that because both said some. So, no. So, only conclusion 1 and 3 will follow. So, answer will be D. Okay. Okay, in a university, some students can speak English and German, but not French. Some can speak French and Japanese, but not Korean. Some can speak Korean and German, but not Japanese. And some can speak English and Japanese, but not Korean. So I have languages: English, German, French, Japanese, and Korean. Okay, that is it. So, okay, all who speak Japanese can speak English. We don't know this. Okay, so this, guys, is not one of my questions. This is an arrangement question. So one of your maths teachers will teach you this. Okay, let's do this. Some mangoes are exported to Europe and most mangoes are consumed in India. In India, some mangoes are used for preparing mango juice and some are used for making jellies. All mangoes are consumed by humans unless they are raw mangoes. All raw mangoes are exported outside India. All right. So now let us take a look. So all raw mangoes are exported. Okay. All mangoes are consumed by humans. So now I need to have, unless they are raw mangoes. So if they're raw mangoes, they're not consumed by mangoes. So all other mangoes are consumed by humans. Right? Now, some mangoes are exported to Europe and some mangoes are consumed in India. Okay. And whatever mangoes are kept in India, you use them for mango juice and mango jellies. Okay. All mangoes exported to Europe are unfit for human consumption. We don't know. Mango juice can also be prepared with raw mangoes. All raw mangoes are exported outside India. But the Americans are not, the Europeans are not making juice. The juice is also only made in India, so I don't know this. Most mangoes are consumed in India in the form of mango jelly. Again, I don't know that. No raw mango was used to prepare jelly. Yeah. Oh, all mangoes are consumed by humans unless they are raw mangoes. So if they are not raw mangoes, they are consumed by human beings. And if they are not consumed by human beings, they are raw mangoes. Oh, but I don't know if all these. So answer will be only conclusion 4 follows. Okay. All right, that brings me to the end of our set, guys. Here are all the questions. If you have any doubts or any questions, feel free to ask. Remember, Career Launcher, every minute of your exam prep is ready. Maximize it, access the Muscle Up CL app. You can download the Career Launcher app from Google Play and from App Store. For Google Play Android phones, use this scanner. For App Store, for Apple phones, use this scanner. All right. Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe, and the bell icon. Bye bye. Thank you guys for joining in.